These are our people. These are our countrymen. If I were white and saw one of these men get murdered and I was in the NRA, why wouldn't I stand up for them? A card-carrying legal gun owner that gets murdered in cold blood because he's black. That's why they don't give a f. Later, a group of adult white men burst into this family's home and snatched a 14-year-old boy out of bed in front of his family that was powerless to stop them, and he was never seen alive again. His name was Emmett Till. If you could solve a black American's problems, this country would have no problems. He's so busy talking about pronouns and this, that, and the other, but this is a very basic wrong. They kidnapped us. They brought us here. They treated us like. And all the time that they did that, they were afraid that we would do what you would do in the same situation.
Dave Chappelle just said something that hit way too close to home. He said, America doesn't hate loud black men. It hates smart black men. The ones who know how the system works, who try to get on the better side, and who aren't afraid to call it like it is. And honestly, he's right. Look around. Every time a black man gets too sharp, too aware, too unbothered by the system, they start getting labeled crazy, problematic, dangerous. Same old playbook.
The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
And now that we've got Trump literally trying to erase pieces of enslavement history, like that order to remove the scourged back photo from a national exhibit, Dave's comments are more relevant than ever.
On the president's orders, a photograph of a beaten slave is being removed from all national parks, including Harper's Ferry National Historic Park.
Called the Scourged Back, and it's also known as Whipped Peter.
And this is what Dave's been warning us about for years. Remember, this man walked away from $50 million because he refused to let Hollywood control his voice. They called him insane for it, and he literally had to escape to Africa to save his life. But today, we finally know the truth. Dave Chappelle was never crazy, and America keeps silencing smart black men. And how what's happening right now, from Trump erasing black to cancel culture backlash, it's all a part of the exact same pattern Dave's been trying to expose since Chappelle's show.
What about people who say you're only interested in the Middle East for oil?
What? Huh? Oil? Who said something about oil, bitch? You cooking?
So in case you missed that Trump move, it's not just random politics, it's symbolic. Trump ordered the National Park Service to remove the scourged back photograph, one of the most haunting, powerful images ever taken of American enslavement. That photo is history. You can't unsee it once you've seen it. It forces you to face what America really did.
This image, the scourged back, was printed and distributed across the entire country, becoming one of the most powerful anti-slavery weapons of the Civil War. Called him Whipped Peter. It completely destroyed the narrative that the South was trying to push, that slavery was humane. And for thousands of Northerners who had never seen or experienced the pure brutality of slavery with their own eyes, this image made it all real.
So why remove it? Because the truth is uncomfortable. Because the image doesn't fit the story America wants to sell. That's the same reason the system keeps trying to sanitize or silence certain black voices. And that pattern is older than Trump. He's just the latest face of it. Every generation, there's a new way to rewrite the story. First, they told us slavery wasn't that bad. Then they told us MLK was just about peace, ignoring the fact that the government had him under surveillance 24/7. They told us Malcolm X was aggressive when all he did was defend self-respect. Same energy when Colin Kaepernick took a knee. It wasn't about the flag. It was all about control. America doesn't like reminders of its hypocrisy, especially when it comes from a calm, intelligent black man. When they tried to cancel Kaepernick and accuse him of disrespecting the flag, Dave pointed out the hypocrisy between Capitol rioters and how America treated Colin Kaepernick. He said that the same folks who lost their minds over Kaepernick kneeling during the anthem, calling him unpatriotic, disrespectful, telling him to shut up and play, were the ones storming the U.S. Capitol with American flags in hand, screaming about freedom, waving Confederate banners, and trying to beat police officers.
Watch the tapes. Watch that crowd that told Colin Kaepernick he can't kneel during a football game, try to beat a police officer to death with an American flag. Look at that shit. What was Edward Snowden talking about? Who is the terrorist now that they're looking for? It's you, not me, not my black Muslim ass, it's you. Who are they militarizing the police for? They didn't call the National Guard on my black ass. It's you. That's what white people did. They felt what black people have been feeling for 400 years. For 30 minutes, stormed the Capitol and rubbed their shit on the walls. They carried a fucking Confederate flag through the rotunda. The Confederate Army didn't even do that. Motherfuckers, you went very far.
But Dave didn't just call out white America for that hypocrisy. He also said that too many black folks turned their backs on Colin Kaepernick when he needed support the most. Instead of standing with him, some joined in calling him divisive or doing too much. And according to Dave, that's part of the sickness. That same mentality that punishes smart, conscious black men for stepping out of line. It's like we've been trained to shut down our own truth tellers before the system even has to. And when we do that, we're helping the same machine that's been silencing us for centuries.
That's why I want to start a GoFundMe for Colin Kaepernick. I do, man. I'm fascinated with him. I want to make sure he never has to play football again. He can if he wants to. I just don't want him to have to. Because why the fuck not? I know he's rich and people would be like, I'm not giving a GoFundMe to a rich dude, but you should. You should. Because that motherfucker's life was going great. He's so light-skinned, he didn't even have to say he was black. And yet, he took a knee during that anthem for us. Thought about us when things were going good, when his belly was full, when he didn't think about his livelihood or any of that, and they took his livelihood away from him. I'm like, man, that shouldn't be the way it is. Every fucking person that takes a stand for somebody else always gets beat down, and we watch it. Over and over and over again, we watch it. But we should pay those motherfuckers for blowing the whistle.
And that's exactly why Dave's voice matters. He makes America, white and black, look at itself, even when it's ugly. And what's crazy is that Dave's commentary is still as relevant as it was 20 years ago when Chappelle's show originally aired. Back then, it was Bush. Now it's Trump. But the playbook is exactly the same.
I thought you was my black brother. Why you ask me questions like that? Fine, I'll answer your stupid-ass question. I feel like you guys keep trying to distract people when I'm focusing on other things, namely the moon. Yes, I said it, the moon. You win? You have a problem with that? You know what you should do? You should sanction me. Sanction me with your army. Oh, wait a minute. You don't have an army. I guess that means you need to shut the up. That's what I do if I didn't have no army. I would shut up. Shut the up. That's right.
And for his regime, the United States is ready, willing, and able. But hopefully, this will not be necessary. That's what the United Nations is all about. That's what the United Nations is for.
Now back then, people were laughing at Chappelle's show and loving every sketch. But Hollywood and those in power definitely noticed something else. Dave's show had teeth. It was truth-telling disguised as entertainment. Sketches like Black Bush and Clayton Bigsby weren't just funny skits. They exposed hypocrisy, called out politicians, and forced audiences to face uncomfortable truths about race, class, and power in America.
You never left this property, have you, Mr. Bigsby?
No, sir, not in many years.
What if I were to tell you that you are an African-American?
Sir, listen, I'm going to make this clear. I'm in no way, shape, or form involved in any negative. You understand?
And this is the kind of comedy that makes executives nervous because it can't be easily controlled. And that's exactly what happened when Hollywood tried to cash in with a $50 million deal. Most people would have jumped at the money. Hollywood definitely expected Dave to, but he refused. He walked away. But that's when the real pressure started. They labeled him crazy and even tried to force him to take antipsychotic medication.
So I got ahead of schedule, and I bounced. And I didn't tell anybody where I was going. The whole time, they're trying to convince me I'm insane. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medication. Yeah. Like I'm sitting around, I was stressed out, but the people that were telling me I was insane, I believe that they knew what was going on. So, this was troublesome.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not taking this medicine, man, because I know these people be trying to control you or maybe discredit you. I was afraid, like, you know.
But you were stressed out. That's
There's
why.
no question. But it's very stressful for someone to constantly walk behind you and say, you're insane.
But Dave just wouldn't let the system dictate his voice. So walking away wasn't just about rejecting money. It was about rejecting control. And the fact that Dave had to leave the country and escape to Africa without even telling his family where he was going tells you he really feared for his safety. And he wasn't being paranoid either. Dave's been in the industry long enough to know that when a black man steps out of line and refuses to be silenced, the powers that be will do anything it takes to suppress his voice. Remember when Martin Lawrence ran out on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me"? Well, Dave saw that, and he knew that Martin wasn't crazy either. He was just pushed to the edge.
When we did Blue Streak, we were promoting it, and Martin had a stroke. He almost died. And then after that, I saw him, and I was like, oh my God, Martin, are you okay? And he said, I got the best sleep I ever got in my life. That's how tough he is. So let me ask you this. What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, they are trying to kill me?
Yeah.
What's going on? Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make a $100 million deal and take her clothes off on TRL? A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you. Ain't no weak people talking to you. So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows.
So once Dave returned from Africa, it was clear he wasn't just back to tell jokes. He was back to teach, and he did it the only way he knows how, through comedy that cuts deep. Whether it's calling out cancel culture, hypocrisy in media, or the way America treats its own citizens differently depending on skin color, Dave always used comedy as a form of truth-telling.
I have a question for the audience, and this is a real question. I'm not joking around. Is it possible that a gay person can be? Do you really think so? Of course it's possible. Look at Mike Pence. No, I'm guessing, but I bet you he's gay. And he's not Pride Parade gay either. He's sad gay. Feel bad for him. He looks like one of them gays that prays about it. Jesus, please take these dirty feelings out of my heart. Please, Jesus, make these buttholes ugly to me. I want to keep on tasting these. To be honest with you, I've been trying to repair my relationship with the transgender community because I don't want them to think that I don't like them. And you know how I've been repairing it? I wrote a play. I did, because I know that gays love plays. It's a very sad play, but it's moving. It's about a black transgender woman whose pronoun is sadly. It's a tearjerker. At the end of the play, she dies of loneliness because white liberals don't know how to speak to her. Sad. All of us, do better next time. Do not forget your humanity, and please have empathy for displaced people, whether they're in the Palisades or Palestine. Thank you very much, and good night.
With the new Netflix specials, for the first time, Dave wasn't beholden to networks, advertisers, or executives telling him what he could say. He had full creative control, which meant he could speak freely about race, politics, and culture.
I like working for Netflix because when all those bad things happened to me, that company didn't even exist. And when I found out they were streaming Chappelle's show, I was furious. How could they not know? So you know what I did? I called them and I told them that this makes me feel bad. And do you want to know what they did? They agreed that they would take it off their platform just so I could feel better. That's why I fuck with Netflix, because they paid me my money, they do what they say they're gonna do, and they went above and beyond what you could expect from a businessman. They did something just because they thought that I might think that they were wrong. And I I do.
But that new freedom Dave found at Netflix made some people uncomfortable. The media painted it as some kind of scandal, saying Dave had crossed a line. But if you watch carefully, you see the real issue wasn't just about a few jokes or his commentary on trans issues. It was that Dave refused to be told what to think, what to say, and how to say it.
I'm Team Turf. I agree, man. Gender is a fact. You have to look at it from a woman's perspective. Look at it like this. Caitlyn Jenner, whom I've met, wonderful person. Caitlyn Jenner was voted Woman of the Year. Her first year as a woman. Ain't that something? Beat every bitch in Detroit. She's better than all of you. Never even had a period. Ain't that something? Oh, I'd be mad as shit if I was a woman. I'd be mad if I was me. If I was in a BET Awards sitting there and they're like, and the winner for Nigger of the Year, Eminem, my man.
Just like Cat Williams said, the industry did everything in its power to destroy Dave and his legacy. But Dave didn't back down, he doubled down. He continued to shine a light on hypocrisy, injustice, and the ways society punishes black men who speak truth.
Dave Chappelle was decapitated in front of us. They called him Pilot Boy because he had 19 pilots in Hollywood and everybody passed on him and said his show wasn't worth it. Then when he made $500 million, they said even though his contract said he should get half of it, they said he made too much for the contract to be valid, so we'll offer you 10% of what you made. You mean he made $500 million and they offered him 50? Yes. And he said, what do you think my fans are gonna say when they find out you offered me 10% of what I made you? And they said, your fans will believe that you're a crazy crackhead by the time you get home. He got on a flight in LA, and by the time he got to Ohio, it was so.
Fast forward to now and look at Dave. And look at Kat. They both rose above all that industry mess. So the lesson here is be careful of the truth because it's often dismissed as crazy. Well, let me know your thoughts on Dave Chappelle and his role in exposing Hollywood. Do you think Dave is still the same Dave he was before he went to Africa? Is it even possible for a black man to expose the gatekeepers and live to tell the tale? Leave all your comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.